Hey there, Janae with Palin Projects here, and in this video I plant up my spring bulbs. So here where we live, we're in kind of a zone 3, zone 4, depending on where in Montana you're at. I'm more of a zone 4 than I am a zone 3, but still regardless, we plant our bulbs out in the landscape in the fall, and then they come up in the spring. So I always feel like I'm exhausted by the end of the growing season. I just want to clean things up and be done with it, to be honest. But I know that this will be so worth it come the springtime. You know, once winter is all done, the snow has gone away, and I'm craving those flowers again. This will be a nice added treat come springtime. And I just put in the effort now, plant up. I think I'm planting up 120 bulbs here today. You know, do a quick planting in a day and just plop them in the ground and get them ready to go. So the spots that I'm planting them in my garden today are the Half Moon Garden, the new garden that I created in 2021. And then I think it's, yeah, so on this side of the trellis, the climbing rose trellis, and this side of the climbing rose trellis. The mix that I put in the Half Moon Garden are the Blazing Flames mix. I got these from Costco. It says on the back, you know, that they're great for cutting. You should plant them 5 inches apart, 6 inches down, and they get roughly 18 inches. So I'm looking forward to these. I think these are on the similar side of my orange ones that I planted last year that kind of turned out kind of a light pink. They're from the same brand, but these are a double and more of a fall-ish mix, so with yellows, oranges, and reds. So I'm excited to see that one. In between those, I planted the 5 double daffodils. These Replete, I think is the name of them. They should get 12 to 18 inches tall. Spacing is 3 to 6 inches. Depth to plant is 3 to 6 inches. So, you know, relatively similar. But these are a daffodil, and they have kind of a peachish, orangish center with white petals around the outside. So I'm excited to see those. My bulbs I don't usually cut and bring inside. I usually just enjoy them out in the landscape for as long as possible. Just a preference, and I don't have a ton to be able to plant. I think once we get our raised beds all done up and worked up, I think next year I'll probably order in 50 to 100 bulbs for that area, just solely for cutting, so I don't feel bad cutting them out of my landscape. So to the left side right there of the trellis, I planted 35 just golden ducat, I don't know, double daffodil, 3 to 6 inches for spacing, 3 to 6 inches for depth. Their size is 10 to 12 centimeters. So, well, that's not right. That must be the bulb size. Because on the side it says 14 to 18 inches tall. So, I have really good luck with daffodils coming back. And they tend to naturalize in our area, whereas the tulips, I love tulips and I will always plant tulips. But I have to replant tulips like every year to every other year, because they don't do as well coming back for us. So on the other side of the trellis, I did a pride mix tulip. It's just pinks and purples, maybe some light reds in there, just a regular kind of pastel-y mix. So these are 18 to 24 inches tall, spacing. When I say spacing, that's how far you should plant the bulbs apart. So that's 2 to 5 inches, and then depth is 3 to 5 inches. So I used an auger today, and you'll see that. I just kind of let the auger go. There were a couple times, I'm not sure if I'm going to edit it out. It depends on where in the video it is, but you can see that the drill kind of caught me a couple times. If you're using an auger, just be careful of that. I didn't have a good grip on it, and so it just kind of flung my arm around. No harm, no foul. And I kind of expect that, but not really. So the one time it did catch me off guard. So just be careful when you're using an auger. That can sometimes happen. You can also, how I like to use my auger is I like to put the drill in between my legs and kind of control the speed that way. I feel like my legs give it enough pressure and enough stability for me to auger the holes at a regular pace. So other than that, when you plant a bulb, there is a special way. There is a bottom and a top. I have heard you can plant them on their side if you don't feel comfortable or don't feel that you know which way is up. I didn't save back a bulb, but there are, if you do buy mixes, there are instructions on the back. So you can see that I think I pointed it out in the Half Moon Garden, but there's a bottom. So there's roots, and then the bulb comes to a point. That point is where your stem and your flower is going to come out of. So just plant your bulb flat side down, pointy side up. And if you don't know or you can't tell on your bulb which side is the pointy side, like I said, I've heard that you can plant your bulbs on the side and that does just fine as well. I've never done it. It's easy enough for me to just tell which side is pointy, and I just kind of do it to the best of my ability. And then I did use Biotone starter fertilizer in all of my holes today, so that the bulbs had a nice fresh full nutrient ground to grow up in the springtime. So I gave them a general dusting of Biotone. You could also use Bulbtone. Kind of the same variety, it's just more specialized for bulbs, but I have Biotone on hand, didn't feel like going to the store, so I just used Biotone instead of Bulbtone. Like I said, it'll do the trick, it'll do just fine. It's what I use in all my stuff. So other than that, I don't know if I'll give them a watering. You should water them in. We're just expecting a heck of a rainstorm, which is unusual for us this time of year, but I can see it coming in. So I probably won't water them in tonight, but you should. Do as I say, not as I do. But you should water them in after you plant them, so that they have enough moisture and kind of settle into their new home. I have been keeping these, so I bought these probably 3 months ago. You can do that. I have just been holding on to them. They've sat in our garage in a cool, dark, dry place in our garage, so that they A, didn't dry out, B, didn't sprout, and C, so I could plant them when the time was right, because 3 months ago in our climate is just a little too early to start planting bulbs. Right now, to maybe a little earlier in October was probably the right bet to start planting bulbs. I just haven't had the time, or I haven't gotten around to it yet, so I'm very thankful that it hasn't snowed yet. I had a memory pop up on my phone that we had Corgi height snow this time last year, so I am very thankful that we have just had rain and no snow yet, but I can definitely tell that it's starting to get colder at night. We've had some ice warnings in the morning, and so that snow is coming, and I needed to get these in the ground before the ground froze over. So that's all I have for today's video, though. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I can't wait to share with you my spring bulbs in 2022 with the start of my 2022 garden. So check back and I'll give you updates on it. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.